NBA 2K22 is coming out in 4 days, and today I'm going to be saving you guys from the biggest mistake that players seem to make year in and year out when it comes to their my player builds. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a little story, and you tell me if you've been here before, okay? The game comes out, you spent $60 to $100 on it, and you're excited. You can't wait to play it. It's been so long. You're hoping this year's 2K is different, which it normally isn't. But that's what you're hoping for, so you're excited. You know that obviously you're gonna need money for VC in order to upgrade your player. So you go ahead and you ask your mom, you ask your dad for their credit cards, and you run up a quick extra 100. So now you're already 200 in. And what ends up happening is, year in and year out, the first build that you make is not good. Okay, it's not a good build, and you end up wasting not only just $100 in order to put VC on it, but you waste a lot of time in order to badge it out. And what this video today is going to do is I'm going to help you guys eliminate that mistake, and I'm going to help you guys create a usable first build without even playing the game. Before I start the video, all I ask is that you guys do me a huge favor and drop a like on the video, and also drop a comment, man. Comments help me out a lot. It helps with the algorithm. I appreciate each and every one of you guys who always like, always comment. Thank you guys so much, and let's get right into this video, man. So what we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna go position by position, and I'm gonna basically break down to you guys how you can make a build day one and use that build for the rest of the year. I'm going to give you guys all these secrets, tips, and tricks that you need in order to not waste $100 on a useless build. I will go ahead and preface this by saying that if you do have patience and you are willing to wait, I will be dropping a build guide the second day of the game. Okay, I always drop a build guide, and I make sure that I put all the research, time, and effort into making the best possible builds. If you guys have seen my build guides in the past, you know how good and how useful they can be, and they can save you a lot of money. So if you're willing to be patient and willing to wait, I would advise you to do that. However, let me go ahead and get you right into the builds, and we're going to start off with point guard. So I'm going to go position by position with a quick breakdown on what you need to have. So let's start with point guard, okay? When it comes to point guards, every single year, there's typically a meta height. The meta height is anywhere from 6'1" to 6'4". So if you go ahead and you find yourself somewhere in the middle at about 6'2", 6'3", that's going to be a safe height for you. You don't want to be too small. You don't want to be too tall and slow. Your weight, minimum weight is always the glitch, okay? Strength never matters. It never has in 2K. It never will. For your wingspan, you just want to be careful. You're going to have to make sure that you're looking at your statistics. If you're trying to be safe, I wouldn't let my 3-ball go under a 92, okay? I would try to make sure that you're a 90 or 92-ish plus 3-ball, because obviously once you get your plus 4s, it'll go up. Once you buy boost, it goes up. You want to just make sure you can have it as high as possible, okay? So look, when you're making a build, I'm just going to make this build really fast. This is just like a speed build. You're going to want to have a max 3. Your mid-range can always be a little bit lower, since mid-ranges are easy. If you play Pro-Am, you want free throw. If you don't play Pro-Am, you don't really care to have free throw. But having about 16 to 20 shooting badges is ideal. Moving forward from here, max out that ball handling. Pass accuracy matters now. Your speed with the ball obviously matters. If you have something like this, okay, if you're making a build and it's something like this to start out with, you have a safe build. You don't necessarily need defense ever, because if you're playing park, you can always play with a lock. You can always play with somebody who has better defense than you. You don't necessarily need defense to guard the corner. But if you have these things and you make sure at the same time your physicals aren't terrible, you have a usable build, okay? You're going to have a very usable build. And like I said, you're obviously able to change this around. You don't necessarily need 29 playmaking. But what I'm saying is, if you have a build that is 6'2" to 6'3", and you have high shooting and high playmaking, you're not going to need to make another build for the rest of the year. Now let's talk about centers, which is something that people mess up more than any other build. There are more useless, money wasted centers made every single year than any other position, because people simply make these same mistakes year in and year out, okay? When people load up the game, this is exactly what they do. They get to this screen, they're like, okay, I want to make a center. I'm going to make him as tall as possible. No, stop making this mistake. I'm sick and tired of seeing it, because you guys are wasting your own money, and your friends are sick of playing with you because your build sucks, okay? Let's go ahead and talk about what really matters. In 2K, speed is arguably the most important thing, and for a center, in order for you to play 2s or 3s and even Pro-Am in hedge versus elite guards, you need to have speed, okay? So what I always do is I typically make a center, that's anywhere from 6'8". I played center on a power forward in current gen. I make a center that's anywhere from 6'8" to 6'10". I would not go over that because speed matters more than anything else. Wingspan, you want to max that out unless you're playing on an outside. And listen, if you're trying to make a safe build, a build that you don't have to remake for the rest of the year, I would not make an outside center. I would go ahead and make an inside center. That is the safest way to do this. Now, again, a lot of people are going to disagree with me here, but I don't care about strength. I really don't. I never have. Strength really doesn't matter. It's pretty useless. 75 strength is more than good enough, and the speed is just so much better when you're cutting pounds, okay? So you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna minimize your weight. That's just the best way to do it. Body shape doesn't matter. It never has, never will. Just pick whatever you think looks cool. And then from here, the most important things that you can have as a center in order to never have to make another build is you wanna have your defense maxed. I don't care what anybody says. You can try and do the scary stuff, which is doing no interior, because interior doesn't matter a lot. But if you're trying to make a safe build, which is what this video is, this is the safest way to make builds. You're gonna go ahead and max your defense and max your physicals. You automatically, at this size, as an inside center, 6'9", you're gonna be an 80 plus speed. You already have a safe build. This is a center build that you would be able to use in the park, in Pro-Am for the entire year. Now from here, what I would do is I would probably, max out your driving dunk, max out your that. You want to have at least, boom, 20 finishing. And again, this is just a speed build. Like, this isn't even something that I'm really taking time to look at and create and make good. This is something that I'm just making really fast. This build right here, you could use the entire year. And again, if you really want to play around with it, you could sit back and you could drop, some of your defense and put it on shooting. But if you're looking to make a safe build, this is about as safe as it gets. Now, what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys a few do's and don'ts, okay? I'm going to make sure that you guys are not wasting your time doing certain things that are going to leave you with $100 out of your pocket and a useless player, okay? I'm going to give you some things that you should do, some things that you shouldn't do, some things that I've done in the past, and just overall, I'm going to give you guys free game because that's what we're here for, baby. It's all free game. And I'm going to start that off with speed. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, I am the biggest advocate of having as high of speed as possible. I think in a game of inches, which is what 2K is, because you never know. All you need is a little sliver of space in order to get open and make shots. Being as fast as you can possibly be, having that speed edge on your opponent is huge. You cannot play this game with a low speed. You're not going to be able to sit back and play this game with a bad speed. If your player is slow, you're going to get cooked on defense. You're going to be useless on offense. You have to make sure that you have good speed. Now, on that same token, you don't need strength. Please do not be baited into wasting precious upgrade points on your player's strength. People make this mistake year in and year out. For whatever reason, 2K cannot find a way to successfully make strength matter, and it just simply put never will. It never has, it never will. I get so much hate when I say this in my build guide, but every single year it doesn't matter, and it's not going to be any different this year, guys. I'm telling you, do not waste points on your strength, or you will be making another build to use those attribute points elsewhere. Another thing I would suggest you doing is finding a YouTuber that you guys can trust, okay? And it doesn't have to be me, although I do think my acumen speaks for itself, okay? First legend pro gamer speaks for itself. Nah, but on a serious note, make sure that you guys are getting advice from the right people, okay? Look at their videos from years past. That's why I said with me, look at the build guides and you guys can see that my builds from day one are pretty accurate and stick for the whole year. But what a lot of people do is these YouTubers who don't care and they just want to put a video out there will give you really bad builds, and then they don't care because they're not going to play on it and they have way more money to waste. But you, as somebody who's not trying to waste your money, waste your time, are going to be stuck with a really trash build if you're not listening to the right people. So do find competitive YouTubers that you respect and be careful who you listen to. And my last don't for you guys is don't just get rid of your build because it isn't good without badges. Guys, you have to get your badges. You have to put that time in order to see if it's a good build or not. A lot of people, what they do is they'll make a build. They'll be like a fifth of the way done with it. They don't even have that many badges yet. And they're like, this build sucks. I hate this build. I want to make a new one. Okay, you'll never know how good a build truly is until you take the time to badge it out. So I'm just telling you guys, if you are willing to put that time in, willing to get your build right, then you will be able to reap the proper benefits and see if it's actually going to be a good, useful, viable, and competitive build. And that is the end of today's video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that I saved some of y'all out there money, man. I'm telling you guys, if you follow these tips, follow these tricks, you will be making a good competitive build day one of NBA 2K22. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you guys are new, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be posting great content, doing a lot of streams all NBA 2K20, and you guys don't want to miss any of it. So look, as always, it's your boy Choc, and I'm out. Peace.